Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dallas Cowboys Today News. Buckle up, because we've got breaking news that's shaking the very foundation of the NFL. This is not a drill, folks. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, have just dropped two bombshells that have left fans, analysts, and even the most seasoned insiders absolutely speechless. We're talking about a seismic shift in the NFL landscape, a franchise-defining moment that's got everyone buzzing from Dallas to Cleveland and beyond. The Cowboys have made not one, but two monumental moves that are rewriting the script for their future, and we're diving into every jaw-dropping detail right now. If you're a football fan, you're not going to want to miss a single second of this. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and let's get into it. First up, the blockbuster trade that's got the entire NFL world in a frenzy. The Dallas Cowboys are reportedly trading their superstar linebacker, Micah Parsons, to the Cleveland Browns. Yes, you heard that right. Micah Parsons, the heart and soul of the Cowboys' defense, is on the move. This is one of those moments where you have to pinch yourself to make sure you're not dreaming, because trading a player of Parsons' caliber is virtually unheard of in today's NFL. This guy is a generational talent, a perennial All-Pro, a game wrecker who's been the cornerstone of Dan Quinn's defense since the day he was drafted in 2021. His ferocious motor, his unmatched versatility, his ability to dominate both in pass rush and coverage. Parsons isn't just a player, he's a phenomenon. So, why on earth would the Cowboys let him go? We're going to unpack that, but let's first talk about the trade itself, because this deal is massive. According to sources close to ESPN and NFL Network, the Cowboys and Browns have agreed on a trade that's nothing short of a king's ransom. While the full details are still trickling in, early reports suggest that Cleveland is sending multiple first-round draft picks, a high-profile defensive player, and additional draft compensation to Dallas in exchange for Parsons. Let that sink in. Multiple first-round picks. That's the kind of haul you'd expect for a franchise quarterback, not a linebacker, no matter how dominant. But that's the thing about Micah Parsons, he's not just a linebacker. He's a one-man wrecking crew who changes the entire complexion of a game. For the Browns to give up this much, it shows just how badly they wanted him, and for the Cowboys to agree, it tells us this move is about more than just one player. It's about reshaping the entire future of the franchise. So what's behind this shocking decision? Why would Dallas trade away a player who's been the emotional leader of their defense, a guy who's practically synonymous with the star on the helmet? Well, there's a lot to unpack here, and the speculation is running wild. One of the biggest factors seems to be contract negotiations. Micah Parsons is due for a mega extension, one that could reset the market for defensive players. We're talking about a deal that could easily top $30 million a year, making him one of the highest-paid non-quarterbacks in the league. For a team like the Cowboys, who are always juggling a star-studded roster and a tight salary cap, that kind of money could limit their flexibility to build out the rest of the team. Some within the organization might have been hesitant to commit that much to one player, even one as transcendent as Parsons. It's a tough pill to swallow, but in the NFL, hard choices sometimes have to be made. Another factor is the growing belief that the Cowboys are entering a new era, one that's less about leaning on their defensive identity and more about retooling their offense for the future. Jerry Jones, the mastermind behind America's team, has never been one to shy away from bold moves, and this trade feels like a classic Jerry move: high risk, high reward, and guaranteed to dominate headlines. By trading Parsons for a massive haul of draft picks and a defensive player, the Cowboys are giving themselves the kind of capital that can transform a roster. Those first-round picks could turn into cornerstone players at multiple positions, and the additional player coming from Cleveland could help soften the blow of losing Parsons. We don't know yet who that player is. Rumors are swirling about names like Myles Garrett or Denzel Ward, but nothing's confirmed. But you can bet it's someone who can step in and make an impact right away. Now, let's pivot to the second bombshell, because if the Parsons trade wasn't enough to make your head spin, this next one will. Just minutes after the trade news broke, ESPN's Adam Schefter dropped another bombshell that sent shockwaves through the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys have selected quarterback Shedeur Sanders in the second round of the NFL draft. That's right, folks, Shedeur Sanders, the former Colorado Buffaloes star and son of NFL legend Deion Sanders, is now a Dallas Cowboy. This isn't just a draft pick. This is a statement. By selecting Sanders, the Cowboys are signaling a bold new direction for the franchise, one that could redefine their identity for years to come. With Dak Prescott entering the final year of his contract and extension talks reportedly at a standstill, Dallas may have just drafted their quarterback of the future, and not just any quarterback, but one with swagger, leadership, and a media presence that rivals the biggest stars in the game. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders for a minute, because this kid is special. If you watched him at Colorado, you know what he's capable of. Playing under the guidance of his Hall of Fame father, Deion coach Prime Sanders, Shedeur put up eye-popping numbers despite playing behind one of the most beleaguered offensive lines in college football. His arm talent is undeniable, whether he's dropping dimes on deep balls or threading the needle on tight window throws. He's got the kind of precision that makes scouts drool. But it's not just about his physical gifts. Shedeur's poise in the pocket, his elite football IQ, and his ability to read defenses and extend plays under pressure set him apart. This is a quarterback who thrives in the spotlight, who embraces the pressure of being the guy. And now he's headed to Dallas, where the spotlight doesn't get any brighter. Let's talk about Shedeur Sanders' fit in Dallas, because the expectations for him are going to be sky high. He's not just coming in as a top draft pick. He's coming in as the son of one of the most iconic figures in Cowboys history. Deion Sanders, aka Primetime, was a larger-than-life superstar who helped define the Cowboys' swagger in the 1990s. Now his son is stepping into the same spotlight, playing for the same team in the same city where his father's legend grew. It's almost poetic, isn't it? You can already picture the sideline shots, the father-son moments, the national headlines. But beyond the storylines, this is about football. Shedeur Sanders is a baller, and the Cowboys just made him the face of their franchise. From a schematic perspective, Sanders' arrival opens up a world of possibilities for the Cowboys' offense. With Shedeur under center, Dallas can build a modern, dynamic attack that emphasizes tempo, quick reads, and vertical explosiveness. Pair him with emerging weapons like CeeDee Lamb, who's already one of the best receivers in the game, and a retooled offensive line, and suddenly, the Cowboys have the makings of a fresh offensive identity. Sanders' ability to extend plays and make something out of nothing will be a game-changer, especially in high-pressure situations. And let's not forget his leadership. This is a quarterback who's been groomed by one of the greatest to ever play the game. Deion Sanders has instilled in his son a work ethic, a confidence, and a vision that's rare for a player his age. Shedeur isn't just here to play quarterback, he's here to elevate the entire locker room. Of course, the loss of Micah Parsons on defense is a massive blow, and there's no sugarcoating it. He was the kind of player who could single-handedly take over a game, whether it was sacking the quarterback, blowing up a run play, or dropping into coverage to make a play on the ball. Replacing him is going to be a tall order, even with a high-profile player coming back in the trade. But the Cowboys are banking on the idea that the assets they've gained, those first-round picks and additional draft capital, will allow them to rebuild their defense around a new core. Maybe it's a young edge rusher who develops into a star. Maybe it's a lockdown corner who changes the secondary. Whatever the case, Dallas is playing the long game here, and they're betting that the combination of a new quarterback and a restructured roster will keep them competitive for years to come. For Cowboys fans, this is an emotional roller coaster. On one hand, losing Micah Parsons feels like a punch to the gut. He was the kind of player you build a defense around, the kind of leader you rally behind. On the other hand, the arrival of Shedeur Sanders brings a spark of hope, a glimpse of a future where Dallas is once again a powerhouse. Social media is already buzzing with fans, debating the moves. Some are ready to crown Sanders as the next great Cowboys quarterback, while others are still mourning the loss of Parsons. Let's talk about the Cleveland Browns for a moment, because they're the other half of this blockbuster trade. For them, acquiring Micah Parsons is a game-changer. Cleveland has been building a formidable defense under Jim Schwartz, and Parsons is the kind of player who can take it to another level. Imagine him lining up alongside Myles Garrett, creating havoc for opposing quarterbacks. The Browns are clearly going all in on contending now, and Parsons gives them a centerpiece to build around. But giving up multiple first-round picks and a high-profile player is a steep price, and it's a reminder of just how valuable Parsons is. Cleveland is betting that he's the missing piece to a Super Bowl run, and if he continues to play at an all-pro level, they might just be right. Back in Dallas, the focus now shifts to the future. With Shedeur Sanders in the fold, the Cowboys have a chance to build something special. The offense is already loaded with talent. CeeDee Lamb is a superstar in his own right, and players like Jake Ferguson and Brandon Cooks provide reliable targets. If Dallas can use their newfound draft capital to bolster the offensive line and add depth, they could have one of the most exciting young offenses in the league. The trade of Micah Parsons and the drafting of Shedeur Sanders are the kind of moments that define a franchise, that spark debates, that keep us glued to our screens. For Cowboys fans, it's a time of uncertainty, but also excitement. For the rest of the league, it's a reminder that Dallas is never afraid to shake things up. One thing's for sure, the 2025 season just got a whole lot more interesting. So what do you think, football fans? Are the Cowboys making the right call by trading Parsons and drafting Sanders? Is Shedeur the answer at quarterback? Or is this too much change too fast? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's get the conversation going. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. We'll be keeping a close eye on this story as more details emerge, so stay tuned for the latest. Until next time, this is your go-to source for NFL news, signing off.